Varun, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. It's really great to know more about how the things has been moving in digital transformation journey, which you are currently handling as a CTO. So to start the conversation, should I go ahead with the conversation?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So today we have Mr. Varun Malhotra, the CTO at Capri Global Capital Limited. Capri Global is playing a pivotal role in India's financial sector by offering diverse financial services to the unbanked and underserved masses today. Today, Mr. Malhotra will share insights into how Oracle's cutting-edge solutions have been instrumental in supporting Capri's vision, including its aspiration to become a bank. Let's start, Varun, this chat show.
Sure. Thank you.
Okay, so can you brief about something, before going into detail about the solution which you have deployed? Can you share something about the Capri's vision and the things going on currently with the Capri?
Sure. So just a brief about about us. We are more than 2 decades old in this mortgage business, and we deal into all sort of products, be it the traditional HL, which is your home loan, or MSME loans, or even the new ones like the gold loan.
Right,
In terms of our vision, we definitely see a lot of value coming in into the entire ecosystem and the value chain by the use of technology. So if you typically look at how this industry has evolved,
right,
and what were the pain areas of this industry and still continue to be certain pain areas is the customer firstly whom you are serving in, and that is where
right,
as you mentioned in your brief that we are trying to serve people who are not in tier one, right? Just to
right,
classify at a very high level. And if you look at the processes, typically the processes of getting a loan have been very cumbersome. If you go to any traditional organization or a bank, it would be started with a very big file or a folder being made with all the documents and all the information being made. However, if you look at the ecosystem, technology ecosystem that has evolved in last few years, that is tremendous, and it still continues to be. I mean, every month we hear some new technology innovation coming in, and there have been a lot of initiatives that the government has also taken, the regulator has also taken. So there are a lot of initiatives
right,
coming from the authorities in terms of supporting these things and the adoption of these things, right?
right,
So
right,
the whole idea now and that we have adopted in last couple of years is to best leverage this ecosystem and bring that change and improve the efficiency of the entire value chain that we are trying to create for
right.
both internal stakeholders, which are my, let's say, relationship managers, my sales, my credit team, and the transparency for the customer as well.
So in terms of technology adoption, so how do you see the things as the technology which you are working on and which you are adopting? As you are mentioning that every day you are seeing new technology. So
Mhm.
in last 1 year, how has been your deployment of the technology, which is as per the need of the hour, and you are working with Oracle to deploy those technologies to your system so that you have a smooth operation as well as this can help the customers who are connected with you.
I'll give a little long answer to this.
No
See,
problem.
and I'll cover it in two phases. One is, the way industry has operated in terms of adoption of technology has been, to get a pre-built solution by the giants in the industry from the software industry, customize it to the processes and needs of the banking partner, and then continue to serve the customer. Now, there are multiple flaws that has, I won't say flaws, but inherent issues that has come into the system. One is, as a bank, I'm dependent on an external agency to modify this code and do releases and to start my new business channels. Now, obviously, the vendor himself is dependent on getting the right talent and onboarding the right talent, which has always been a challenge in the tech industry, at least in the Indian tech industry. So
Right,
that is one. The second is what it impacts is, how soon can I leverage the ecosystem that we are talking about? What is the level of creativity that and the innovation that I can bring into this system? So what we have done is instead of this old model, we have now moved into a build and buy model. What that means is we'll buy those things which are very essential to the business and are at the apex of the game. So, for example, the new journey that we started off, we have taken in Oracle FlexCube. So, a typical loan journey starts off with a loan originator system and a loan management system. So management system is where the most governance, reports, and those kind of things gets generated. And this is where we have adopted Oracle FlexCube. Now the loan originator system, that is the LOS, this is where the agility of business is required, to launch new schemes, to give more value added products to the customer or offers to the customer, and to enable my sales team and my other folks in the organization to make quick decisions for it. So what we have done for our gold loan system is we have built an in-house LOS, and we call it Swarnim. The change that it has brought is in last 4 to 5 months, every single month we have been able to release a major release, be it a tie up with a new vendor, a new bank, and or to facilitate my business to grow. And it has been growing tremendously. Currently that business line contributes to 6% of our AUM, and all of this is happening at even lesser than 50% of the cost. So we are gaining a lot of agility while we are not compromising on anything from the governance and risk part as well. And in terms of the ecosystem, now we have a much more open ecosystem, and that happens from both our LOS and the way FlexCube is designed and the Oracle cloud is being designed. So it helps me to adopt these innovations that are happening across the world at both these stages.
So means, in shorts, the kind of benefit you got, and you are saying the numbers, which is too low than what it used to be. So this is really encouraging. So sorry, but it's not easy to deploy any solution overnight. Okay, now it's a planning. As a CTO, you have such kind of responsibility that you cannot take a chance for all the assets what you are having. So if you can share about 2 3 challenges which were major before migrating to this solution. So what were those challenges which you thought initially, and how Oracle team helped you to mitigate those challenges to overcome that there will be no such issues going forward?
So see, a typical journey of migrating from one solution to another is definitely, started by the choice of options that you have in the market. So what we did was we ran a what if analysis. Let's say what if my business becomes 2x in next 2 years, right? So what would I need to do that? What kind of infrastructure would I need? What kind of application things I would need? On a secondary case, what if my regulator changes certain policy? How quickly will I be able to adopt? If you, to give you an example, long back when GST came in, it was a big change for many softwares to adopt to it, right? And obviously when these changes comes in, there are deadlines also that follow to it, right? So we did similar set of what if analysis, and that's how we came to a solution like FlexCube on the technical front. And then in terms of running it, how best we can do this. So we did a meticulous planning in terms of what are the basic regulatory things that are required. So there are certain things that are within the organization in terms of data, but there are certain requirements as well that comes with the regulator. Let's say a dedupe check that needs to be run, or certain user-based checklist that needs to be run from the regulator side, or a simple thing like let's say a civil report that needs to be generated, right? A bureau report that needs to be submitted. So that was a meticulous process that we defined end to end, from a customer coming in to the system till servicing that customer. So I'll give you an example. Today in my gold loan, right, we were discussing about banks preparing huge big files, right? Contrast to it, today in my gold loan, if a customer walks into the branch, brings in a collateral, right? We would assess that collateral at that same time. We would leverage the ecosystem. So similar to we'll do or eKYC checks with the customer. Very simple Aadhaar based checks. There are other APIs from NSDL and other governance bodies, which we run through. And within 30 minutes, the customer walks out either with cash or the amount credited within their account. So that is one. And so effectively, you can see the delight that the customer would get, right? Immediately getting that money. The second part is in terms of servicing. So let's say, being humans, we are forgetful, right? The EMI is due for some time, right? And maybe you have just missed your EMI from just one day, right? So we will give you a soft nudge using certain communication channels, right? But if that has started becoming a trend for you, maybe we'll, instead of doing it on D+1, We will nudge you 2 days early that, hey, with a very soft message, hey, this EMI is coming due. Please ensure that you pay it on time,
Right.
right? So all that analytics run in the background in terms of customer assessment. And then we decide in terms of how we want to nudge the customer with the right channel and walk alongside the customer in terms of closure of that loan. So the other part of it is where transparency comes into the picture. So what we have done is, as soon as the customer applies for a loan, the person immediately gets a link to download the Capri Loans app. And as the loan application progresses on each step, be it your document checks, be it your property check, or certain appointments happening, all that is being shown in that app with a green tick or in progress or a red tick if something goes bad. And the customer, and that is across the entire journey of the customer. So if in case tomorrow customer wants certain documents or certain assistance from Capri, that is all serviced through the app. So we are trying to empower the customer now with using different technology modes, to be self-reliant and help them wherever possible.
That's great. Means, I interview a lot of people, the CTOs, different verticals. So, when I talk to the banking system, like, the banking industry, like the CTO from this background, because, this is something industry very different because the regulatory picture, which is very complicated, and what you're talking, how you worked with the Oracle solutions to the latency and everything you did very well. Means, if you can say something about, how this change has increased the customer satisfaction level, if you have done certain internal survey or the internal report you are getting from your CXO that we are going great and everything. So how the change has happened? So means you're talking about the benefits what customers are getting, or your sales team or the operation team are getting through messaging, through all sort of things which you're doing. But how has been the feedback so far from them, the customers, or even are they happy?
Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. And I'll tell you one of the biggest marker that has enabled us to understand that. In gold, what happens is, the rate fluctuates a lot. So gold rate was 65,000 some time back, and now it has come down a little bit, right? However, if you look at the ecosystem, we still have the collateral that was mortgaged to us, right? And there are customers that would have paid certain EMIs as well. Now there is an opportunity of giving a top-up loan to the customer.
If the price goes up, if the gold price
Yeah,
goes up.
exactly, exactly. Now, this is a very good indicator in terms of the confidence we have instilled, in terms of when we are giving that nudge of that amount and how many people are taking it up. Because it could be two-way, right? Ultimately, the customer is paying an EMI and they can always plan for an exit, right?
Right.
Versus still opting to keep the collateral with us and continuing that relationship with us. So that is the first marker that increased a lot for us.
So
Yep.
sorry to interrupt. So how he's getting this kind of messaging? He's using your app, or he's getting in a message or a call. How you're doing that?
It depends on customer to customer again. So there are analytics that run in, so people that we see are more tech savvy, utilizing our app more, they would get these things over the app itself. Where we see that people are more on the messaging side, so we'll use that channel. And at tier 3 there are certain people that we would see that they're not that tech savvy, but they are still very conversant and like to discuss more at the branch level. So this is where our telecallers would come in and discuss the entire scheme of things with them.
Great. So you have all mechanism in place.
The second point that I want to mention is on the automation front. And this is more from a requirement perspective that once somebody takes a loan, it has to be reported to a bureau, right? And those IDs have to be created for the customers. We were able to automate all of that front for my ops team and reduce their the effort that was going in for all these operations by more than 70%. So the system clearly flags them, what are the green cases, and takes care of those green cases. And wherever actual human input is required to look at those cases, and that left with only 20-25% of the cases, that is where now the energies go.
It means the great shift.
Yeah, definitely.
Right. So, Varun, we have to conclude this discussion, and so I'd just like to get one message from your side, Varun. That is, your working experience with the Oracle team in migration or the deployment time or pre-sales or the post-sales. How has been the experience so far? Shortly, if you can answer, and also What can be, because you are from a industry where a lot of new startups are coming to be into this industry, NBFC industry, non-banking industry, such in kind of industry. So what will be your advice as a CTO to them?
I think in terms of my experience with Oracle, it has been nothing less than fantastic. Uh, Couple of things, as a technocrat, you want certain things to be automatically managed by a service provider, be it security, be it how the entire cloud infrastructure is being laid out. And I think that is also part of the fundamentals and the or the ethos in which the Oracle cloud was being built. So there's a lot of synergy, that gets automatically created with that. Uh, and when you are moving to manage from managed services to unmanaged services, right? That is a very good paradigm shift. I think every technocrat should definitely try it, the startup part that you are talking about, because you save a lot of effort in terms of managing the stuff by yourself, right? Uh, the other advice that I think I can definitely see coming in near future is a lot of adoption of Gen AI. I think there's a lot of good use cases that are coming in, and the ecosystem is very open to it, and a lot of creative ideas that are coming to it. So definitely look forward to that.
So means you're also closely watching generative AI and using that tool as a CTO. You might be in the organization.
Yes, we do for both our a lot of our internal things, and we build a lot of custom Gen AI things as well for our users.
Yeah, I'm sure, Varun, the kind of solution you have deployed, and the change you are seeing within and outside the your system is very encouraging. And I'm sure that in coming years and in coming days, when I'll interview again, you'll be a bank very soon.
Sure, definitely look forward to
Thanks.
it.
Yeah, thanks, Varun. It's a great talking to you. Hopefully, we are connecting again next time.
Sure, thanks. Have a nice day.
Thanks. Thanks, Varun.